On an unassuming day, in the heart of the friendly skies, a peculiar incident took shape. It was a day like any other, with the sun painting a golden path across the firmament, inviting the Earth's inhabitants to take to the air. Aboard a commercial airliner, passengers were settling into their seats, adjusting seatbelts and stowing away carry-ons. The air was filled with a symphony of noises, the hum of the engines, the faint rustle of newspapers, the muffled chatter of excited travellers, and the anticipative silence of those heading towards new adventures or familiar hearths. Then, amidst this scene of tranquility and mundane routine, something unexpected happened. Something that would shake the very core of the airborne microcosm. A man, a seemingly ordinary passenger, was about to perform an act so peculiar, so outlandish, that it would sear itself into the memory of every individual present. This man, known to us only as Number 12, was no different from any other passenger on the flight. He was not particularly tall or short, not overly muscular nor noticeably thin. His face held no distinctive features that would make him stand out in a crowd. Yet, Number 12 was about to become the unlikely protagonist of an event that was anything but ordinary. Without warning, Number 12 rose from his seat, a sudden movement, a flurry of activity, a gasp of shock rippling through the cabin. The act was committed. But what was it? What could possibly shake up an entire cabin of seasoned travellers and experienced flight attendants? What could this unassuming man, this Number 12, have done to cause such a stir? The answer to that question, my friends, is not as straightforward as you might think. It's an act so bizarre, so utterly perplexing, that it leaves one scratching their head in disbelief. But we won't reveal it just yet. For now, let's leave it shrouded in mystery, a question mark hovering in the air, much like the plane itself. What could prompt such an odd behaviour from Number 12? Hold tight as we delve into this baffling event. Let's consider the main character of our tale, Number 12. Meet Number 12, an everyman in every sense of the word. He could be anyone. He could be the man you passed on your morning jog, the fellow customer at your local coffee shop, or the stranger seated next to you on your last flight. An unremarkable man living an unremarkable life. A man of routine, a man of habit, a man like many of us who enjoys the simple pleasure of travel. On the day in question, Number 12 found himself aboard a plane. Perhaps he was travelling for business, or maybe he was heading towards a well-deserved vacation. Either way, he was just another face in the crowd, another passenger nestled among the many. Nothing about him suggested that he would soon become the most talked-about person on the flight. He was calm, composed, and seemingly at ease. He engaged in polite conversation with the flight attendants, chuckled at the in-flight safety demonstration, and settled comfortably into his seat. No signs of distress, no hint of odd behaviour, nothing to suggest that he was anything other than an average man on an average flight. But as the saying goes, still waters run deep. Beneath the surface of this unassuming man, a storm was brewing. An unlikely villain was about to emerge, casting a long, dark shadow over the unsuspecting passengers. A man who was about to turn an ordinary flight into an unforgettable journey. As the plane ascended higher and higher, so did the tension. The air was charged with an eerie anticipation, and then, just as suddenly as a bolt of lightning cleaves the sky, Number 12 transformed. He became the epicenter of a bewildering event, one that would forever etch this flight into the annals of aviation history. So, what exactly did Number 12 do that caused such a stir? The answer might leave you aghast. Brace yourself as we reveal the shocking act committed by Number 12. Picture this, a tranquil airplane ride, the gentle hum of engines, passengers lost in thoughts, dreams, or the latest blockbuster on their personal screens. Suddenly there's a disruption. Number 12, our unlikely villain, decides to commit an act so unimaginable it's enough to make the most seasoned traveller pause. He unzips his trousers and, without a care for social norms or the basic decency of humanity, Number 12 proceeds to urinate on a fellow passenger. The act, so unexpected, so uncouth, sends a wave of shock rippling through the cabin. The initial reaction is disbelief. Eyes blink, heads turn, and mouths fall open in stunned silence. This isn't the kind of turbulence anyone had prepared for. The victim, a hapless fellow traveller, recoils in shock, disbelief and a fair bit of disgust. The warm, unwelcome sensation seeping through their clothes is a far cry from the in-flight refreshment they had in mind. The immediate vicinity is a tableau of revulsion, a scene straight out of a twisted comedy. As the reality of the situation sinks in, the cabin erupts into chaos. The flight attendants, trained for a variety of emergencies, find themselves facing a situation that no manual had prepared them for. Their faces mirror the shock and confusion of the passengers, their composure shaken by the unthinkable act. Gasps echo through the airplane, whispers fill the air, punctuated by the occasional nervous laughter. Some passengers retreat into their seats, trying to distance themselves from the spectacle, while others can't help but gawk, their curiosity overpowering their disgust. The cabin, once a sanctuary of calm, is now a stage for a bizarre drama. The atmosphere is a mix of shock, disbelief, and a morbid fascination. The incident, as disturbing as it is, has transformed an ordinary flight into an unforgettable journey. Yes, you heard it right. Number 12, in a moment of inexplicable behaviour, decided to urinate on a fellow passenger. A tale of a flight that went from mundane to memorable, courtesy of an unlikely villain and his unthinkable act. The act was done. The unthinkable had happened. Now, what followed? The immediate aftermath was a whirlwind. The victim, shocked and drenched, leapt to his feet, aghast. The expressions of the fellow passengers morphed from confusion to disgust as the reality of the situation dawned upon them. A collective gasp echoed through the cabin as murmurs of disbelief filled the air. The flight crew, trained for a myriad of emergencies, but certainly not for this, sprang into action. Their faces masked their surprise, but their eyes told a different story. They quickly ushered number 12 away from the agitated crowd and into a vacant seat, away from the victim. The head steward, with a steely resolve in his eyes, made a beeline for number 12. The victim, still reeling from the bizarre incident, was comforted by the crew and offered a change of clothes from the airline's supply. The offending area was cleaned and sanitized, ensuring the safety and comfort of all passengers. Meanwhile, number 12 was dealt with by the crew. His actions had not gone unnoticed nor unrecorded. The crew, in consultation with the captain, decided to report the incident to the authorities upon landing. The decision was made swiftly, ensuring that number 12 would face the consequences of his actions. Upon landing, the local authorities were waiting to take number 12 into custody. A murmur of relief swept through the cabin as he was escorted off the plane. A wave of applause followed as the other passengers expressed their gratitude to the crew for their swift and decisive action. The victim, though shaken by the incident, managed a weak smile, grateful for the support of the crew and fellow passengers. In the end, the journey had taken an unexpected turn. A routine flight had become an unforgettable experience for all on board. But amidst the chaos, the professionalism of the crew shone through, turning a potential crisis into a manageable situation. Number 12's act was met with swift action, and our journey took an unexpected turn. Now, let's take a lighter look at this unusual tale of number 12 and his in-flight antics. Let's face it, folks, air travel can be a real drag. Long lines, limited legroom, and the occasional turbulence that makes your heart skip a beat. But nothing quite prepares you for a fellow passenger. Let's call him number 12, deciding to add a bit of a splash to your journey. Yes, our dear number 12, the unlikely villain of this high-flying saga, decided that the tiny airplane bathroom just wasn't for him. Instead, he thought it'd be a splendid idea to transform the aisle into his personal lavatory. Now, I've heard of in-flight entertainment, but this, ladies and gentlemen, takes it to a whole new level. It's almost as if number 12 was auditioning for a one-man show called Peeing Pantomime at 30,000 feet. I must say it's not a show I'd be rushing to see. And let's spare a thought for the poor soul who was the recipient of this unexpected golden shower. One moment you're enjoying your complimentary peanuts, the next you're wishing you'd packed a raincoat. Now, that's what I call a real peanut situation. As far as the aftermath goes, it's safe to say number 12's in-flight antics didn't make him the most popular passenger on board. In fact, I dare say he might have a hard time finding a seatmate on his next flight. Then again, who needs a seatmate when you've got your own personal aisle to use as a makeshift bathroom, right? All jokes aside, this bizarre incident is a stark reminder that when it comes to air travel, you must always expect the unexpected. From snakes on a plane to unruly passengers, it seems there's never a dull moment when you're soaring through the friendly skies. So, next time you find yourself on a flight, remember the tale of number 12. You never know what might happen when you're soaring through the friendly skies.